Okay, y'all, hold on. So, okay, competence, excitement, optimism. Who are these people and what have they done with the Democratic Party, right? I don't know what's gotten into them, but it's just been home run after home run lately. And the latest is Tim Walz. Man, I love this guy. You know, they said Kamala had to find a way to appeal to the Midwest. Well, she just picked the most Midwestern man in all of existence, y'all. I mean, you know what I mean? He seems like he's got a calendar on his wall where every month is a picture of a different kind of tractor. You know what I mean? Like, I bet he ain't missed a state fair in nigh on 40 years. All right, you just know he can make a tater tot sing, baby. He bleeds ranch dressing. This man is the Midwest. Seriously, Tim Walz checks more boxes than a hypochondriac filling out a medical history form, y'all. Like, you mean to tell me that this dude is a military vet football coach who stood up for gay kids in the 90s? Dude, forget vice president. I want him to be America's papaw. Give me advice. You know what I mean? Like what? Like what can they say about a guy like that? You know what I mean? What are they going to say? Like, their whole narrative has been that liberal men are just a bunch of purple-headed soy boys who want to turn kids into cats and outlaw cheeseburgers, right? That's what they say. But then this sumbitch waltzes in carrying a hunting rifle and a dead turkey, just all shucksing them into submission, talking about feeding kids and minding your own damn business. Put that shit in my veins, y'all. And then meanwhile, all the alpha males out here got to try to convince themselves that really the puffy-headed couch fucker wearing guy liner is the real man of the two. Like, oh, I'm so fired up. I love it so much. But speaking of JD, you just know Walz is chomping at the bit to get after his ass, man. You know he's ready for him and for Trump. I mean, look, if anybody knows how to handle petulant dipshits covering for their own insecurities by hurling playground insults, it's a man who taught high school for 20 years. Okay? I mean, he's already proven he knows how to handle these people. He's the one that came up with calling them all weird, right? And that worked like a charm immediately. Right off the bat, they lost their minds. They were just like, Mom, the cuck pedo snowflakes are calling us names. Right? They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle it. They were just like, we're weird? Oh, what? Because we want to monitor women's periods and do wiener checks on 12-year-olds at track meets? That makes us weird? Okay. Like, the whole thing is just chef's kiss. Delicious. It really does feel like there's something special happening here right now. You know, it feels like we're coming together right as they're falling apart. It feels like for the first time in a while, people on the left are not just willing to vote against Trump, but they're excited to vote for this Harris Walz ticket, man. Like, the vibes are palpable. The energy's through the roof. All we got to do now is keep this momentum going. Like the man himself said, and I'm paraphrasing here, 90 days ain't shit. Sleep when you're dead, baby. Let's get it. Love y'all. All right, YouTube, back with more in just a second. Let's take a look at how the media is covering this story. All right, guys, we're here on Ground News' website. They also have a mobile app and a Chrome extension. We're looking at the articles about Tim Walz being selected as running mate. As you can imagine, a lot of coverage already, over 700 sources and counting. We've got them sorted by bias down here at the bottom, and you can see immediately how the bias impacts the coverage, right? Like, see these left-leaning outlets, see they're talking about Tim Walz and saying, you know, who is this guy? From a Mankato classroom to the White House, you know, giving a little biographical information, you know, kind of pumping him up a little bit. But if you look at the right-leaning outlets, they got a whole different narrative going. You can see Breitbart down here says that Kamala Harris listened to the Hamas wing of her party by skipping Josh Shapiro. Fox News says, what, was Josh Shapiro just too Jewish for Kamala? So, you know, you can see how that's a little bit of a different way to cover it. That's the extra information you get from Ground News. Ground News is a startup and service that aims to combat bias in the media by adding context and transparency to all the news you consume. You can see here, before you ever even click an article, you get extra information. You can see the ownership group, where the money comes from. You can see the factuality rating, and you can see the bias. So imagine, like, if your Aunt Tammy, who gets all her news from Facebook, if instead she had Ground News, before she clicked on an article, she would have something to tell her, hey, this might not be true. Imagine how much that would help. But Ground News, listen, it's 2024, y'all. Ground News has got you covered with the election here. They got all the election coverage. You can sort it by candidate down at the bottom. You can see all the latest election news. And one of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot here. The blind spot, this shows you stories that are not being covered on either side of the political spectrum, right? So like right now, 0% on the right are talking about the polling results about Tim Walz. Maybe they're not too happy about those results. Who knows? But this lets you see what the other side is talking about and step outside of your bubble a little bit, something we could all do more of. This is just some of the benefits you can get from Ground News. So if that sounds good to you, click the link in the description below or scan the QR code to try Ground News today. You can check it out for free, or you can get 40% off their highest tier Advantage program. It is a subscription-based service, which means no ads. Baby, listen, y'all, it's 2024. Things are only heating up from here. You got to push back on the bias and BS. Try Ground News today. All right, YouTube, man, we're back. I really am thrilled with the Tim Walz pick. You know, everything I found out about him, it just made him hit harder and harder for me. I saw him talking yesterday about how the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is illegitimate as long as Warren Zevon isn't in it. And I'm like, dude, my dad's going to come back from the dead to vote for this motherfucker. That's how hard he's hitting right now. Good Lord. And if you've been following me for a minute, you know that I had been, in the run up to it, I had been a Mark Kelly guy. I still like Mark Kelly, but you know, but I ain't mad about it at all. Matter of fact, part of me is almost kind of glad she didn't pick Mark Kelly, because it would have just pissed me off seeing the right wing start talking shit about the moon and trying to defund NASA and act like space don't hit and stuff. Like that would have made me unreasonably upset. So it's all right. Plus, you know, Arizona's about half crazy as hell anyway, so we need to keep him there, so it's fine. But yeah, Walz is the man. Not everybody's happy with the pick, though. Some people, it seems to me, a lot of right-wingers, people like Fox News, pretty upset. You know why? They're upset that you didn't pick Josh Shapiro. Look, I don't have a problem with Shapiro at all, but I think the way they're talking about it is pretty objectively hilarious, because if you haven't seen it, what Fox News is saying, they literally have a headline that says, was Josh Shapiro just too Jewish for Kamala Harris? That's their whole thing. It's like, oh, Kamala's an anti-Semite. Kamala hates Jews. That's why she didn't pick Shapiro. It's like, yeah, you mean the person who's married to a Jewish guy? Also, it's just so rich hearing them complain about the left hating Jews all of a sudden. It's like, dude, if she had picked Shapiro, y'all would have been calling him a weather controlling globalist tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like, they're like, no, we hate globalists. Jews are fine. It's like, yeah, you know, the right, their main problem with the left has always been intolerance. The way we're intolerant of other people's cultures. Yeah, you guys aren't the official party of every major Jew-hating segment in the American populace, and haven't been for a long time. But I do think that the fact that they seem to be upset about her not picking Shapiro, that seems good. Typically, anything that pisses them off ends up being a good thing for us, and so I'm feeling pretty good about it this morning. I mean, I was already, but seeing them cry and bitch and moan about it has amped up the vibes even more. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Feeling good. It's been a wild few weeks. I don't know how they could possibly keep this up, but I don't know. I'm feeling like it's possible now. Feeling like anything is possible. Like Kevin Garnett, y'all. We're gonna see what happens. But maybe 2024 won't be the end of all that we hold dear. After all, who knows? Listen, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Put these pictures up here. Whatever. This is my special damn boy. Should have a new one for y'all in some capacity before too long. You know, a couple months, whatever. The other circle, you can subscribe to the channel, see all these videos, my podcast, things of that nature. And the most important one to me, the other circle, TreyCrowder.com, is where you can see my tour dates to buy tickets to come see me do stand-up comedy. That's what I really do. I'll go all over the place. If I'm coming near you, come see me. But mostly, if you keep watching these silly missives, I'll keep making them. I love you like chicken. See you. Bye.